Welcome to the 2025 general election for the Student Representative on the Board of Education, or SROB. This recording was filmed at the CCPS Central Office on February 27th and consists of speeches from the candidates as well as a question and answer session. This is an extremely important election as it determines the person who speaks on behalf of your school system and school experience, so we ask for your full, undivided attention for the duration of this recording. After viewing this recording, students will receive a virtual ballot and be asked to vote between the two candidates.
The student representative on the Board of Education is a unique student position that is a part of the Carroll County Student Government Association and represents over 25,000 students in Carroll County Public Schools, grades K through 12. Candidates run in their 9th or 10th grade year, shadow the current student representative and learn about the position the next year, and then serve the following year after that. This is the election for the 2026-2027 student representative. The SROB attends every public Carroll County Board of Education meeting and works alongside the other board members and the superintendent to make sure that Carroll County students' views, opinions, and positions are well represented. The SROB also has responsibilities in the Maryland Association of Student Councils, or MASC, and represents Carroll County student opinion on the state level.
Your panel is made up of Chloe Kang, who is your current student representative on the Board of Education, and I'm Anya Slowinski, your CCSGA president.
With that, we will have the candidates introduce themselves. We ask that the candidates speak loudly and clearly. Closed captions will be provided.
Hi, I'm Olivia Poissant, and I'm a freshman at Westminster High School.
Hi, I'm Gabriella Tedeschi, and I'm a freshman at Century High School.
Now we will move into candidate speeches. Candidates will have up to 5 minutes to speak. Time cards will be held up at the 2-minute, 1-minute, and 10-second mark. Whenever you're ready, Olivia will go first, Ella will go second for speeches.
My name is Olivia Poissant, and I am a freshman at Westminster High School. First off, I just want to thank all the students that were at the February GA meeting for allowing me to get into the second round of SROB elections. So why does this ordinary freshman want to run for SROB, you ask? Well, I have always had an interest in public education and the different roles played not just inside the classroom, but also outside of the classroom. I've had an interest in this since a young age because both my parents are educators for Baltimore County Public Schools, as well as my brother. Every night at our family dinner, my parents always talk about what happened at school. This allows me to already know some of the language and how things work within the education system. I'm a naturally inquisitive person, so I obviously ask my parents questions that are similar to, what does that mean? How does that work? Or what would happen if you did this? So overall, I have grown up in a big public education family. Now my second point is that I'm a natural born leader. I always have been since day one. My teachers always see me helping out other students on problems they don't understand, and they always tell my parents how I participate a lot in class. During group projects, I'm usually the group leader, the one who assigns everyone jobs and the one who divides up the workload. I also was president of my Sources of Strength Club at West Middle School. It opened up so many more doors for me. It made me into who I am today, a resource for anyone who may need one. It allowed me to see how I loved being in a position of authority. I loved how people would come to me with their problems, but I loved the end the most. That was when I could see how much I impacted all of these kids, how I taught them to become leaders themselves. That is why I intend to do a SROB. I intend to not only be a leader for the students of Carroll County, but also teach students how to advocate for themselves. Another key point to my plan is this: get as many opinions and stances on a topic as possible. There are so many students within this county, meaning that there are so many differing opinions and perspectives on topics that are discussed at the board meetings. So Olivia, how do you plan on getting all of these opinions? Well, I plan on doing that by using our biggest mode of communication today, social media. I plan on creating brand new social media accounts dedicated to spreading the news and information on the upcoming board meetings and what will be discussed during those meetings or what has already been discussed. I will take detailed notes to ensure that I am spreading the news in an effective way that is also factual. I would create a Google form asking for people's opinions on the topics that we would discuss and bring them to the board. If students have any questions or ideas they want me to bring to the board, they're able to privately message me whenever they please in order to get their voices heard. Also, I have an idea of creating a SROB interest group. If I'm elected a SROB, I can't overlook all of the students in the county at the same time. I can only overlook my own. So I thought about electing 1 or maybe 2 people that are actively involved in student government from each school in the county to spread the news about SROB. Tell all the students how to contact me, and just in general, explain what is happening at the board meetings. This is to ensure that I'm getting opinions and outlooks from everywhere. My number one goal as SROB is to make sure everyone feels heard, no matter who they are or what they stand for, because I know what it feels like to not be heard. I don't want anyone to experience that feeling ever in their life. I hope you'll vote for me so you'll be able to have a voice. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Olivia Poissant, and I hope I have your vote.
Hello, Carroll County students and staff. I'm Gabriella Tedeschi, a freshman from Century High School, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to be here today and run for the student representative on the Board of Education. This position is incredibly valuable as it truly represents what a leader is. So, what is a leader? To me, a leader is someone who pushes not only their followers, but also themselves to reach their full potential and improve the world for those around them, whether it's encouraging a fellow peer to public speak, advocating to local boards, or volunteering at an event to better our community. These are all actions in leadership. My goal is to create a network of strong and willing leaders dedicated to bettering our community. Simultaneously, I will do my duty of representing the perspective of students to the board in a professional and passionate manner. I will achieve this through supporting mental health and developing opportunities for involvement that will promote successful skill development for all students. In order to gain the leadership skills necessary for SROB, I've worked tirelessly to learn and develop as a leader in a multitude of areas. I'm involved in Leo Club, Model UN, Red Cross Club, and Pole Vault for track, all of which provides me with diverse experiences and the ability to wear many different types of hats to relate to different students. From my various clubs, I've gained vital leadership like hard work, teamwork, and communication, which have made me a better leader in SGA. I started my SGA journey in 6th grade, and I've only grown since then, as I was a homeroom representative and am now an advisory representative. In these positions, I've learned to communicate, whether that's with my peers or with an adult administrator, which transfers to my county-appointed position. For CCSGA, I've been a co-workshop director for the past 2 years. In this position, I've presented many workshops and spoken in front of the delegation. Public speaking is not just giving the speech or teaching my workshops, but to eloquently and confidently speak to the board and to share the student perspective. Lastly, I've continuously worked in the Maryland Association of Student Councils, or MASC. As an 8th grader, I worked in AIMS, or Action in Middle Schoolers, as a presenter, an author for policy workshops, and the MASC newsletter. This year, I'm the Division II liaison. Here, I facilitate communication between Frederick, Carroll, and Howard counties. My presentation time at regional GAs and state conferences has solidified my value and goal as SROB to ensure effective communication and visitation for the schools that I hope to represent. Despite being busy with athletics, academics, and SGA, I find a balance of proper time delegation through my time management skills. To accomplish my first part of my goal of student mental health, I will push to ensure that students have avenues to receive help. Schools are responsible for the success of their students, but if the students have poor mental health, how can they achieve this? They can't. That's why mental health is a topic I will continue to advocate for. On a CCSGA visit trip to Annapolis last year, I advocated directly to Senator Reedy about a mental health bill, SB 0165. This bill proposed that high school coaches receive a course on the early signs of youth struggling with their mental health. I will continue to push this idea, as well as mentioning training coaches and staff. It is essential that all students and staff alike understand the timely signs and resources to help those in need. Overall, a successful school system protects and educates the community to prosper. To accomplish the second part of my goal of increasing student involvement, I will ensure that every student, no matter their background or identity, is heard and represented. To do this, I will provide students with forums and opportunities to reach out to me through in-person and online activities. I will use multiple applications to ensure that I'm working to interface with students from diverse backgrounds in various schools throughout the entire county. Not only this, but I will act to provide schools with valuable opportunities for their students that prepare them for their futures. I will achieve this through ensuring students have access to outlets like athletics and clubs. These experiences help develop student skills just like they prepared me, so we can skillfully build the future together. I am honored to be here running for SROB. The role of SROB is essential to the promotion of student perspective and success of Carroll County Public Schools. I hope that you vote for me to show students how we can have an impact and be represented in our schools. Together, we can serve the present and the future of Carroll County in a way that fosters strong leaders and empowers everyone to make change. Thank you, everyone. And just remember, vote for me, Gabriella Tedeschi, for representation and opportunity within Carroll County.
Now we will move into the Q&A portion of our election. Candidates will have up to a minute to respond. Time cards will be held up at 10 seconds. Your first question is, are you the kind of leader that leads with your head, hands, or heart?
I would say that I'm the kind of leader who leads with all of those if I was able to choose that option. But I feel like if I had to choose one, I would say heart, because I just feel like that's the most important part of your body. I mean, it's the reason why you're alive. Like, it's the reason why you're here right now. It's pumping your blood to your body. But I also believe that if you lead with your heart, then you're accomplishing the ultimate goal of being kind. And I feel like that is what is needed in this world.
As a leader, I believe that I also, like Olivia, tend to go with all three, but if I had to choose one, I would also choose heart. And this is because this makes me a compassionate and understanding leader. So that way, when I'm referring the student opinions to the board, I can understand what different students are going through, and I can make sure I'm truly representing them and what they want and what's their issues and how I can benefit them. Make sure I'm supporting these students that need these help and making sure I'm really showing the board where we can improve.
Your second question is, what are other issues that you see at school and how do you plan to fix them? And on a larger level, you'll be hearing from students all over the county. How do you take what you're doing on the local level and expand it to the county level?
So I think some of my issues that I've noticed are the two that I mentioned in my speech, which are mental health and opportunities. So ways that I plan to take them to the county level is making sure I'm reaching out to students at our general assemblies saying, hey, this is something that our board is mentioning or something that I'm witnessing in my school. How is it affecting you? How can I make sure everyone is protected? And really speaking to people in person, making that change, making that connection. So really reaching out to the people it affects most.
I would say that I also think a big issue is mental health, not just with just like plain mental health, but also like athletes' mental health, because I am an athlete myself and I know what it's like to do school and be involved in a school sport as well. So I think I would take that by also having other students reach out to me and saying how mental health has affected them, and just like share those stories with the board, and also just gather all the students together that have gone through this and have them share their stories personally.
Thinking back to people you've seen do this work previously, what differentiated the ones who were good from the ones who were really great at it?
I think that the ones who were good at it, I mean, obviously they got elected for a reason, but I think the ones who were good at it, they did advocate for the students of Carroll County, but I feel like they didn't get all of the voices heard. I feel like they just got some, but the ones who are really great at it got multiple different perspectives, and they shared those perspectives.
The representatives that were really great at it, passion just radiated off them. You could tell that they wanted to make a change and they wanted to represent student voices. Whether they worked tirelessly to ensure that they are hearing student voices and to make sure that they are really truly representing that to the board and making sure that the board was understanding.
The Board of Education is mostly adults, and there can often be a disconnect between students and adults. How will you effectively ensure that the student voice is being heard in that sort of environment?
I will ensure that the student voice is being heard by respectfully and strongly showing what the student voice is and voicing it to the board members and reaching out and not just saying something once and then hoping it makes that change, but really, really enforcing it and making sure like, hey, this is something that's super important in our schools, and just really ensuring that the board members are hearing what the students are saying just through multiple reminders and reaching out to them in respectful and kind ways.
I think there are multiple parts to this question, and the first part would be that I would first build my relationship with the Board of Ed members, and it is going to take some time because they are adults and they are in a position of authority, but I think I'm a really outgoing person, and I think that I can get along with anyone who wants to get along with me, and I also think that would benefit the students because I am the student representative. So if I put on a good front for the students, then the Board of Ed members will know that the students are want to be heard.
What are your biggest strengths and weaknesses?
I feel like my biggest strength would be that I am outgoing and I really like speaking to people I don't know and getting to know them. But I feel like one of my weaknesses is just kind of I don't know, public speaking, I would say, if you haven't noticed, but I'm not really good at that. So, but I am trying to work on that.
I think my biggest strength is my determination to really follow through with my passions. I'm very passionate about student government, and I ensure that I'm going headfirst into this and really making sure I'm involved. So I think that's one thing that's really strong about me. And also my communication. As a state student government appointed staff, I've had to ensure there's communication between 3 whole counties along with the state. So in order to do that, I need really good communication skills, and that's something that can also be applied to the SROB position, as I need to make sure I'm communicating with all different types of students. My biggest weakness is sometimes when I'm in a group setting, like working on a project, I tend to take too much control if it's not going as smoothly as possible. I'll either work with one other person and we'll just take control, or just be me.
How will you coordinate with other SROBs and SMOBs across the state to represent Carroll County's student voice?
So as the Division II liaison, that means I already have direct access to both Frederick and Howard counties. And then also, most of the divisional liaisons or appointed staff to the Maryland Association of Student Councils are SMOBs or SROBs. So I have this really easy access in a position that I'm currently in. So as I'm at MASC events, reaching out to other SMOBs saying, hey, can we meet up at this time so that way we can say what's going on in our counties and kind of share ideas. So that way I'm seeing what's going well in other counties and how their SMOB is going, and really making sure I'm enforcing that in our county so that way I can also benefit our counties.
I would get in contact with them through social media, and I would just introduce myself, just say what I'm all about, and also just say what Carroll County thinks with these certain issues and how it is going in their county, and just what their students think of this issue, so I can get not just Carroll County perspectives, but also other perspectives.
Your final question is, the position of SROB is a large time commitment. Board meetings and work sessions, additional involvement in clubs and organizations, and missing school requires intense time management. How will you prioritize this role and lead effectively?
I already have a lot of skill with time management. I do sports, I do this SGA, I do sources, and I do a bunch of different school clubs and activities. So I feel like I already am good at time management, and I use Google Calendar to help me with that. But I also think putting this as my top priority would be the biggest way of making sure that I'm putting in everything I can, because I feel like this is more important than any school club or organization.
I think that as a varsity athlete, as a member in multiple clubs, as a Carroll County appointed staff, as a MASC appointed staff, I have really grown in my time management skills. Ask me 6th grade, how were my time management skills? I would probably be like, time management skills, what are those? So I think by now I've grown so much within my time management skills, and really I've been able to prioritize what means most. And in this case, SROB would mean most. This is because I'm hearing directly from the students on what they want to see change. So I'm going to make sure that I'm really truly representing their voice so that way they can see change in our schools. So I would prioritize SROB so that way every student knows that they are heard and represented, and that way their school system can be improved.
And that concludes our general election for the student representative-elect. We thank our candidates, Olivia and Ella, for attending and taking the stand to be a good leader. We thank the elected officer team for attending the event. We thank Mr. Melhorn for being an amazing CCSGA advisor and putting this all together. Last but not least, we thank Mr. Flaherty for organizing this whole setup and being the mastermind behind the camera. Thank you to the principals and teachers for coordinating this recording for students, and we thank you, students, in advance for utilizing your right to vote and choosing the next representative on the Board of Education.